Good question. Believe it or not, I just take my photographer's pictures, one of his pictures, and I just use that as a thumbnail. And I put the price because if you look at the most trending, whether it's Inez, whether it's Neva Realty or Suman Kim, it's always the front or it's a picture of the house, and then it has the price. I know some experiment doing it without the price, and I've A/B tested mine, and the ones with the price actually do way better. So I literally just take the picture from my photographer, and then I'll just like change it a bit, whether I saturate it.
Can't leave a message because the person you
Sometimes I do an outline, like if it's a condo building. Sometimes I don't. I play with it, but I use Canva. So I do pay Canva the $200 a year for all their features. So I do that's how I do the thumbnails. It's so quick. So yeah, all my thumbnails are primarily the house and the price. And I played with it, like sometimes hiding the number, sometimes not.
Please leave your message.
Sometimes outline, sometimes not. Sometimes I take the house, pop it out, and then like make the back dark, and then the house pops out forward, if that makes sense. But it's all about the house or the condo building. Or sometimes if it's an interior condo building, because maybe the exterior of the condo isn't so appealing. Canva. I do CapCut for my editing and Canva for all my designs. And
and there is not enough space.
And CapCut, if I'm not mistaken, is free. So I just pay for Canva. Yes. CapCut for editing, Canva for my design and my thumbnails. I was going to say something. You know what I actually found out? I would say if you ever wanted to take a still frame, kind of like a screenshot of your roll. Sorry, Layla, let me finish this with Matt. There's a button. It's like these 3 lines when you're in the editor. There's these 3 lines right above the video. And you can actually click it and it says export still frame. So you can actually pull a picture out, export it like 4K, and then put that into Canva if you want to get like a still shot. Sorry, Layla was asking a question here. Question, I have a lead from last week, Circle. She said she is thinking to sell next year. Perfect. But she said the value on Zillow is so low. Ignore Zillow. Zillow is so wrong. First, she is wondering how much her property.
Thank you.
I knew that was a voicemail. She was wondering how much her property is worth. I would highly recommend. Okay, so there's a few ways I kind of handle this. Number one, you never, ever, ever want to say a number over the phone. I've made that mistake. You never, ever, ever want to give them a range. I know some people still do from my experience. I've actually stopped even giving out ranges. If you really want to send her something, you could always like send her what's available on the market around her, what is currently under contract or pending, and then what her recent sale. But I would say this, Layla, you may end up falling into the trap. Because I did this as well, where you're just like doing busy work and you're like emailing like, oh my God, like you're jumping out of your seat to be like, oh, let me provide you with a market report. I would say even hold back from that because you're already working for them and you're not getting paid. I now approach it more like, what do you think your home is worth? And then you could always just say, well, I could always just stop by one day, just to kind of take a look at it because I don't really know what it looks like. And then I could always get back to you as far as what you could maybe sell your house for. So I would definitely say getting in front of her and just nurturing her to get her to a place where she understands, where she can make a decision. Because I now come from a place of like, if you really, really want to know how much your house is worth, I'm going to have to come and see it. We're going to have to meet, because at the end of the day, what if we don't even like each other? And kind of like, let's get that out of the way. And if you know, okay, we vibe, this is cool, the person's not crazy, you don't feel like unsafe, if you know what I'm talking about, then you can be like, okay, well, I looked at the numbers, this is what properties have sold for. And in a way, let them decide and figure out what their house is worth, depending on what the market is doing. Because at the end of the day, that is what defines their value on their home. Sometimes they just don't know what's going on around them. So it's nice just to give them that information, but definitely do it when you're with them or after you've met with them. I would say you're going to burn through a lot of time and energy doing all this busy work and just emailing it to them and never having an opportunity.
You're trying to reach is not available.
So I just try and refrain. Like, I guess if we were to role play this and she was like, well, I don't know, Zillow said it's really low. I mean, what do you think my house is worth? You'd be like, well, I mean, your home the best, and I understand Zillow thinks it's really low. Like, what do you think it's worth? And then they might throw it back at you, be like, well, you're the real estate professional. And you can say, well, if you'd like, I could definitely swing by sometime next week and put some, just check it out and let you know, what it might be worth. Just give you a rough idea. At least that way you can decide what it is that you want to do, just so you have some options. And when you approach it that way, it's a lot easier, less pushy, less aggressive, more helpful and friendly, and more service oriented. Okay. And then,
Been forwarded to an automatic voice.
So how I manage this type of lead, I would just treat her like a regular nurture. Did you say you already got off the phone? Oh, I have a lead from last week's circle. She said she is thinking to sell next.
Voicemail.
Well, number one, she is a lead. Let's get that right out of the bat. And I'm assuming she doesn't have a realtor, because you don't want to be spinning your wheels if she's just going to go with her neighbor best friend that she promised she would give it to the day she decided to sell. So just making sure that, of course, she doesn't have a realtor. And then listen, okay, this is interesting. If she's planning on selling in a year, you don't know what her house is going to be worth. She's planning on selling in a year. You do not know what her house will be worth in a year. I would just say do a nurture. I apologize, but I think you got my follow-up process. I would just treat her like that. And the beautiful part is you're going to keep her informed on what's going on, and she's going to love you. But I'd highly recommend, if you can, try and meet with her. You don't have to do it tomorrow. You don't even necessarily have to do it next week. But I would just say sooner the better. If you're like, hey, I'm in the neighborhood, I know we talked, blah, 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 blah. I have an appointment at 3:00, and maybe just say it in the morning. I have an appointment at 3:00. Maybe, once I'm done, can I just swing by just to say hello? Most of the time they will say like, yeah, come on by. If they can't, because if it's a schedule that happens, that's fine. Just try another time. So because it was based on this question, just treat her like a regular nurture, because she will sell. Canva for them. Hold on, guys. Thank you for calling. This is Adela speaking. How may I help you? All right, back. Oops. All right, where was I? I should not have answered that, and I did. Oh, well. I never used the price, but I like it. I used the listing photo, but never put the price. Going to start doing that. Yeah, and I would say A/B test it. I know you don't have that feature yet, but I know once you do get it, you can start playing with it, and YouTube will tell you. Layla, okay, great. Thank you. Great. Yes, absolutely. You're very welcome. Totally nurture her. She sounds like an ideal lead for you. Hey, Erin. Oh my gosh, Erin, you had said so many amazing things last time. It's got my head spinning. In fact, I was just talking about you. And so I'm going to figure out how to do what you're doing in a way. We'll see, because I actually just got another buyer for my listing, but I don't really do it the same way you do. I do the same like percentage kind of. So I know what it's like buyer and seller. But I would say I get more of my buyers because of my videos that go to my listings, but I don't really do off market. So I would love to have a conversation with you one day to figure out like how it is you're doing it. What up, killer? I know. Yes, Matt. Awesome. Yes. Erin's pretty cool. Catalina, yes, I'm here right now. 3 to 5. Oh, wow. Wait, where are you? What's your market? I forget where you're located, Carolina. Let me know. Sounds like I missed a good one today. It's been pretty crazy. Fridays are fun. Fridays and Saturdays I call. Well, I've been calling every day. It's day 46 out of 90 for me today. Or is it awesome? Off markets are the best. Yes. You know what's interesting is I remember somebody telling me kind of what you do, but it was like an old school guy in his like 60s, and he just kind of talked about like, oh, the good old days when I used to, and I'm like, but tell me how. And he's like, oh, well, you know, it's kind of different now. I'm like, well, that doesn't help me. Happy to jump on a call with you any day. Oh, you're awesome. Okay, cool. That'd be awesome. I would love that. What is up with this neighborhood? They all sound like they're sleeping, or they're like in their living room with the TV on low, and they're like melted in their couch, and they're like, they are so like sleepy. They're not even like, hello, this is Daniel. Who is this? They're just like, hello. Oh. Anyways. Oh, Sarasota. I think you did say that once. So, okay, we have someone from Tampa, someone from Sarasota, someone from Orlando. He was funny. I was totally saying how they're sleepy, and then he wasn't. So I was just saying, so we got Sarasota, Tampa, Orlando, Miami. We got West Palm Beach, me in Fort Lauderdale. I think there were even some who were like in Coral Springs, which is 45 minutes northwest of me.
Hello. Please leave a message after the tone.
And that's all the people in Florida. Oh, and you know what? I actually set that appointment for that circle. She called me back and she's like, I want to sell. So I booked her for June 12th. So I have an appointment there. I'm going to add it to my Mojo. Cool. Oh, that's so interesting. So if I actually, on my prospecting dashboard, I've always been curious how it works, because at first I used to add my progress for my appointments and just put it the day I made the appointment. Like if today was the day, I would put today, but it doesn't really work so well with Mojo. So then I switched it to where I mark it on the day that I have the appointment. And so because I just put in my Mojo, I have an appointment for June 12th, it counted it as today that I made the appointment. So I have 1 of 6 for the month. I'm supposed to have at least 2. Do you have hot buyers you're working with right now? 1, and we've been putting in offers.
Been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
But honestly, these buyers, they technically need to sell their house in Texas. So they moved out of the house in Texas, put it on the market the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks or whatever. And they're staying in rentals here and working until we can get them.
The person you're trying to reach is not
Until we can get them in a house. So that's just the 1. So if whoever, yeah, the terms just, it's been tricky with them. I'm trying to think. Everybody's on a different timeline. I have one guy, buyer couple, selling their house out of Washington, not Washington, D.C., but outside of Washington, D.C. and they found me through YouTube. Do you prospect for buyers? No, I don't. I know that's what you do, right? You're like, you ask for their services and stuff. I strictly work with sellers, and the only buyers that I've really been working with are the buyers that come to my listings. So I double end. And then since December, all of a sudden, I started getting an influx of buyer leads from my YouTube channel, my other YouTube channel. So now I have buyers reaching out to me directly. So it's like free inbound. And they're all like in different stages of like when they're planning on moving. Meaning if they're looking at a certain building or neighborhood, you call owners. Actually, I have done that. I used to do that when I did have buyers. And unfortunately, it's crazy. I would actually find homeowners for those buyers. And then the buyers would be like, no, I don't really like it. I'm like, yeah, so I've done that. I think I've maybe just got burned. It just didn't work out. And I don't know, obviously I probably have to do like a lot, but I also never really had like a ton of buyers. I don't have a huge list of buyers to work with. And I just basically stopped working with buyers for the most part. I shouldn't say for the most part. There's still maybe a couple, well, now they're YouTube buyers, so I don't know. Matt said, just got off the phone with a realtor I texted to do an open house for last week. She loved that. I'm also cold calling, and she was going to try to find me more open houses to work.
Please leave your message.
Ooh, that sounds nice. That sounds really nice. That's a perfect setup. This how I find off-market sellers and put deals together without having to go through the listing process and increase the commissions. Yeah, you know what? Maybe, Erin, I think my problem was I really didn't end up having as motivated buyers as I thought I did, because they'd be like, yeah, I'm interested, whatever. And then I would find them a place and they were just like, oh, I don't really like it. And then I remember sometimes I would get the seller and be like, yeah, I have a motivated buyer. And they're like, okay, well, just so you know, I have a realtor too. So you're not going to represent me. And they would want to try and get their agent 3%, and the offers just wouldn't work. I'm like, oh my God, why are you giving 3% to an agent who did nothing? And I have a buyer for you. This is insane. Is this a Florida thing? Like, why are they doing this? It was really weird. And I just stopped, I guess. Nice work, Matt. Those are great contacts. Yes, I agree. Perfect.
Telephone number 954.
Matt said, man, this group is awesome. I learned so much from others. 100%. And FYI, that is why I have the Facebook group for you guys to like connect and share. Come on, guys. I'm noticing there's not enough posts and I'm not going to be doing the work. I already got a lot on my plate, and that's for you guys to share, learn from each other, especially when it's not live. So please, please, please feel free to share what you guys are doing and what's working. And,
automatic voice message system.
In the Facebook group, so you guys can share. That's like a fun, friendly place. Or was I? If the buyers don't like the off-market property, show them. The sellers become a great lead for the database. Yeah, you're right. Maybe that's where I was messing up, because I definitely did not. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, I'm gonna have to figure it out. Maybe I'm just blocking myself. Why are they shouting? I went from a quiet, sleepy neighborhood, and now I jumped over to another one, and they're just like shouting their heads off at me. Matt, remember how you're like, you're getting a lot of crazies? Sometimes it's the neighborhood. Like if you start paying attention, sometimes it's the neighborhood. It's like they all cluster together and you get these like different personalities in certain neighborhoods. Oh, okay, I'm going to have to get more aggressive on these calls. Catching up. You better record your call with Aaron. I'm curious about the details of what he's doing. Yes. You know what? Maybe we'll just have to do a live with Aaron. Be like, Aaron, share what you're doing. We're going to have to put him on the screen. I'll have to like pause my dialing session. I'll be like, Aaron, share with us. What are you doing? Let me just tell you, if you're cold calling and people are yelling and screaming their head off at you, just hang up. Just hang up.
Unable to answer the phone
You
right
have to
now.
protect yourself and your mindset, and you're not going to waste time arguing with someone who's upset over a phone call. So these crazy people, like Matt was saying, you got crazies, just hang up. There's no point in arguing with somebody who is livid for no reason. And sometimes I always think like, they're not even mad at me. They're just mad at life. They're upset. They're in the middle of something. They're just irritated. I'm like, it has nothing to do with me. So therefore I'm just going to go ahead and hang up. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather just goodbye. I love how people are like, it's really tough with the condo market. I'm like, that's so funny. I just had a closing for a condo and I just got another condo under contract, and both of them I got the buyer. So I'm doing pretty well. If they want to make sure to sell
Please leave your message for 9.
if they want to make sure to sell their condo for as much as possible, and sell it faster than all the other condos, then give me a call. Oh no, it sounded like a party back there. I'm very specific on who I talk to. For my month, let me see, I'm at 206 contacts, 13 leads, which is about right. It's middle of the month. I want to hit 25 leads for the month. Ooh, I have a fun question for you, Erin. And I know this is actually something they just started doing on the MLS more and more, or they allow it, but it's so confusing what the MLS even wants to do. Do you manually input your off-market sales on the MLS? Because I feel like my MLS,
The person you're trying to reach.
they used to like not let you, and now they recently changed it 3 months ago and said, if you want to enter your off market, you can, but you have to like check it and like
To voicemail. The person
and like fill out a little form or something. And it's so weird because they like strictly
message for 9.
they like strictly want to make sure it's like a fine line, and they know like what was on market, what was off market to like keep their data accurate. So you have to like fill out these like forms, or
It's been forwarded to voicemail.
this like section if it's an off market. I'm like, ooh, that's new. I kind of like that, because before they wouldn't even give you credit, which I thought was like, so yeah, it's not helpful. I actually like that they're
Forwarded to voicemail.
I actually like that they do that now. But I'm curious if they actually, if you do that on your end when you do those off-market deals. My weekend is already filling up. I have an inspection Sunday at 10. I'm handing over the keys tomorrow morning for today's closing. I have showings tomorrow. Actually, I have a few showings this weekend. And then I have obviously going live. So I'm going to have to figure out where to carve out some rest time. To your question, yes, I enter the data in my MLS directly for off market. Okay, I love that. I absolutely love
Voicemail. The person you're trying to.
I can definitely learn a lot from you, Erin, for sure. And I remember always thinking like, I want to be able to match up buyers and sellers, and I'm doing a nice little job, but I wish it was more. I wish I could at least have a good 50%, because I think I'm at like 25% of my deals I get the buyer. So I would absolutely love to try and increase it and have it be 50, but at the same time, really figure out a system and a process where I can make the seller not go with their agent and just work directly with me and get the percentage, without actually having another person involved. And more importantly, if it doesn't work out, figure out how to convert those sellers. Am I right? No leads, been on a dry spell for a few days. Not to worry, it happens to us all. Sometimes it could be either the tonality, your pace, something in there that you can tweak a little that might make a difference. 36 minutes left to hit my goal. Awesome. You got this. It's barely 5:30. Awesome. By 6:06, or at least my time, 6:06, you'll be all set, which I think you're an hour behind me. So that'll be like 5:06. So you'll be done. That way you can enjoy the rest of your Friday night. Yes, I'd prefer not to list properties and rather just sell them. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. 1000%. You don't have cost on signage, putting the sign out, inspect, like just all the costs that come with listing them and just like get the deal done. I would absolutely love. So you are totally talking my language. I love it. Most of the time sellers don't have an agent they're under contract with. If they do, I ask if they'd be opposed to an agreement exclusively with my buyer. I like that. Yeah. So yeah, maybe I should reword it that way. Cause usually they're like, I do have a realtor. I'm like, I don't care. Like, why are you bringing your realtor into the picture? Like, don't bring your realtor into the picture. You'll keep more. Most of the time sellers don't have an agent they're under contract with. I agree. Yes. If they do, I ask if they'd be opposed to an agreement exclusively with my buyer. I like that. I'm going to have to figure out how to make that worded out properly or something. All right. Well, my dialer is still going, but I'm just going to call it a day. Where am I? 2,000 calls, 227 conversations, 14 leads, which is right on par, and then one appointment. Oh, interesting. It doesn't show my appointments now. Okay, well, whatever. Anyways. All right. Thank you, Erin. So nice. I will definitely be reaching out to you. And I have to actually talk to Matt about those screenshots. So I got to talk to both of you as well. And then feel free to share, you guys, on Facebook. That is for you guys to connect. Yes. Okay. It was so much fun. Don't you like Fridays? Fridays are nice. I like Fridays. Fridays and Saturdays are my two favorite days to cold call. People are generally way more relaxed, normally a lot nicer. This neighborhood, I started getting a little crazies. Later, y'all. Yes. Goodbye, everyone. Say your goodbyes if you want to say goodbye.